Welcome back to the start of a new series. It's a 3-part series. The episodes are going to be kept quite short, and we are going to be making a loot crate system. If I now hit play, you can see that we have two dummy widgets up here. That's going to basically show two chests. If I hover over the left one, that's a basic chest. It's going to show me that sword spears are 10%, pistol is 1%, rifle and AKs are 5% each, and the nuke is 0.1. We have also the rarity colors happening on the left side. It does seem a bit counterproductive to see that you have an epic rifle 1% and epic AK-47 10%, but you can change this however you want in the setup. If I now press unlock on the basic chest, it's going to start populating in the background while we do the animation. Once we have it populated, it's going to start spinning the wheel. It's going to land on a place within this square, and you can do the same for this one. Beware that this system does not contain a functioning inventory system. It contains a rudimentary one for visualization. It does not contain it as a functioning one. If you want a functioning one, go and check out my version 2.0 inventory system on my channel. And if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you found it helpful, let me know in the comments below. If you need any help or anything, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us just get started with the video. Okay, let us just get started. Now I'm in a it's basically just a empty template right now. There is absolutely nothing in here except for the content folder and the engine folder. Now inside the content folder is where we're going to be working. The very first thing that we are going to do is we are simply going to make another folder. Inside of this folder, this folder is going to be called your content folder, and this is basically where your game is located. I'm going to give this a color of green, and let's open that. Inside this folder, we're going to create 3 more. First one is base, second one is interface, and third one is systems. Now if you have the inventory system already, systems is going to be here, interface as well probably, and base if you followed along previously. The base one is the one we're going to be starting work with first at least. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to click file, click new level, and I'm going to do it empty level. I'm going to hit Control S to save, go into my content, base, and I'm going to call this my base level. You probably already have a level. I don't. I'm also going to set up some classes. So the first one is going to be a player controller because we need something to control mouse cursor and stuff. So I'm going to do that. This is going to be my PC_base, player control base. Second class is going to be a game mode, because we don't have any game modes here either. It's an empty template. Again, you might have this. This is going to be the GM base or game mode base. And the third one is going to be a HUD class, and it's going to be called HUD base. Now these are all fine and dandy. They don't actually exist in the project yet. Well, they exist in the project, it's not in the game. So let's set that up. Let's head over to edit and project settings. Over on maps and modes, select the default game mode base. It's supposed to be your GM_base. And the pawn class I'm just going to leave as default because we're not going to use any pawns in this. The HUD class is going to be the HUD base, and the player controller class is going to be the PC base. The map also needs to be changed. I'm going to do base level that we created previously. Hit Control Shift and S to save all, and we're done with our base folder for now. Let's head over into our interface. And the interface will contain a widget, which is a WBP_HUD. And where I lied before, we're going to go back to base now that we have the new widget. Head over to your HUD base, dock that up in the project, head over to the event graph, delete these two, and out from begin play, drag out and type in create widget. This widget is our WBP HUD that we just created. The return node we're going to add to viewport. While we're here inside of our base folder, we can also open up our PC base, and simply here on the begin play, we are going to do set show mouse cursor and set that to be true so that we have a cursor to work with. Now we can close out of our HUD base, PC base, Control Shift S to save all, and that's it for our base folder. Now let us head into our systems folder. Inside here, we're going to create 2 new folders. First is going to be an inventory system. Now we are not going to be making a fully functioning inventory system in this video, well in these 2 videos I think it is. If you want a inventory system, I suggest you check out the playlist I have on my inventory system version 2.0. That is the one you should pick, not pick the version 1 because it blows. I don't. Well, it works, but I don't like it. And another folder, which is our LootCrate system. Now let's start with our inventory system. Now inside of inventory system, we're going to create some folders. The first one is crates. The second one is image files. The third one is items. And the fourth one is structs and enums. And we're going to create a new blueprint here as well, right off the bat. A blueprint class type actor. It's going to be called BP_master item. Let's go into our structs and enums and create two things. So the first one we're going to create is an enum. It's going to be e_item rarity. Open that up and add 4 enums. I'm going to do uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. Save that, close out. Right click, select blueprint, select structure. This is going to be the st for structure _item info, and open that up. Since this is not going to be a working fully inventory, I'm just going to do some defaults here so that we have the information that we need. However, if you have the inventory system already, then you basically have what you need and you just need to add item rarity if you don't already. First one is going to be a text. It's going to be item name. Second one is going to be a texture 2D, which if you followed along previously, you know that that is our item icon. And the third one is going to be of type e_item rarity, our enum that we made. And it's going to be called item rarity. Close that, and we're done with our structures. Inside of our master item, you can open that up and dock it to the top. Here we're going to add our structure that we just created. So it's going to be st_item info, and you can Control A to select, Control C to copy, and you can paste that into your variable list here. Compile and close out of our master item. And that is it for that. Let us import some image files. I've imported some textures here. For the items that I'm going to be making, and 2 chests as well, or 2 crates. These images will be linked below. However, I've changed them a little bit just so it will pop a little bit more, and the changed versions will not be linked below. These are from Flat Icon, I believe. Now we can start making our items. So I'm going to right click my master item. I'm going to create a child out of that. I'm going to call it my BP_, let's start with pistol. And I'm going to move it into my items folder. Open up BP pistol. And on the right side here, you have your structure that we just made. This one is the item name. It's going to be pistol. It's going to be t_pistol. And it's going to be a rare on the item rarity. Now you can select it and Control D to duplicate. I'm going to make a BP_, I think we have an AK-47. I'm going to call it AK-47. T_AK, that's going to be an epic. And continue to do this for your item. So my next one is going to be BP_rifle, and that's going to be a legendary. Now you can right click on your base level, close tabs to the right. We're done with our items. Head back to your inventory system folder and right click your master item. I'm going to make a child out of that. I'm going to call it BP_master crate. Move it into my crates folder. I'm going to make 2 new folders. One is going to be crates, and the second one is going to be structs and enums. Let's open structs and enums first. Make a new structure. I'm going to call it st_crate contents and rarity. Open it up, dock it to the top, and we're going to have 2 variables here. The first one is the item, so master item class. That's going to be called item. And the second one is going to be a float of type rarity. This will go from 0 to 100 based on the percentage you want it to occur. Now you can open up your master crate, dock that up there, and let us add a variable. Call it st_crate contents and rarity. Copy that variable, select it, make it into an array. And that is it for this. That is our master crate. Now we can right click on master crate, create a child. This is going to be my BP_basic crate, I can move that into crates folder. Now over on my crates folder here, over on my basic crate, on my item info, I'm going to make it and give it a name, call it basic crate. I'm going to do t_box1 for this, and this is just going to be uncommon. Now you have your ability to add to the array here. So I'm going to add 4 elements to this. The first element is going to be a BP sword. I'm going to give it a 10% chance to occur. I'm going to have a spears, 10% chance. A pistol, let's give it a 1% chance. And let's have a nuke. That's going to be a 0.1% chance. Now we can duplicate our basic crate, call it BP_basic advanced crate. Open that up, and same here, we have 4, but this one is going to be pistol for 10%, AK for 10%, rifle for 10%, and nuke for 1%. I'm going to rename it to advanced crate t_box2, and I'm just going to leave this uncommon as well. I can close tab to the right. Now let's start with adding this to our screen a little bit. So let's head over to our systems, head over to LootCrate system, and let's make a new folder here, call it interface. The first one we're going to make is a dummy crate entry. If you have the inventory system or anything, you will find a way to add this yourself. It's quite trivial, but we are going to be making a dummy crate entry to add to our HUD. So I'm going to make a new widget. I'm going to call it WBP_crate entry and dock that to the top. Crate entry will contain a vertical box. I'm going to decide that on screen. I'm going to add a image to that vertical box. I'm going to change the brush to be a size of 256 by 256, and I'm going to make it variable. I'm going to call it crate icon. Under this crate icon, I want to add a button, and onto that button I want to add a text. I'm going to call it my unlock button, copy that, and call the text unlock button text. Change the text to be unlock. I'm just going to go to the button and center it to the middle like so. And I can go to the text and change the visibility to not hit testable self only, so that we can actually click the button even if the text is in the way. Let's head to the graph for a second. Over on the graph here on the construct, I'm going to get my crate icon, and I'm going to set brush from texture. What texture should we set it to? Well, we want the crate texture. However, what crate is it? We have no clue, do we? So we want to add a new variable. I'm going to call it my crate ref. And that is, of course, of type BP_master crate class. And I'm going to make it editable and expose and spawn so I can edit it before the game starts. In this case, I'm going to go into the HUD and be able to select it. Now I can get my crate ref, and I can get the defaults. Oh no, you might say, there is no item info here. How do you get it? Well, you go to the defaults on the pin, and you select the ST item info as a pin. Suddenly you have access to the item info. And there we go. Now let us head over into our base, into our interface, and into our HUD. Let's open up a canvas on our HUD. This is going to be left as fill screen. I'm also going to add a border and copy that border so that we have 2 of them, like so. I'm going to change the padding of all to be 4. I'm going to select the first border and size that to content. I'm also going to select the brush color of that to be a grayish. And the second border, I'm going to select the brush color to be like, I'm going to do a bluish. Inside of this, I can add a horizontal box. Inside of this horizontal box, I can now add a crate entry. This crate entry, I'm going to pad it to be 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and then I'm going to duplicate it. I can select my first border, open up anchors, and hold Ctrl and Shift to anchor it to the middle top. Rename the first crate entry to be basic crate, the second one to be advanced crate, if I select the first one, now you can see that we have the crate ref over here. I can now select this to be the basic crate. And same with the other one, select it to be the advanced crate. Now I play, now we have our crates up here. Nothing actually works yet, but they are showing up. And I think that is what we're going to have for this video. I'm going to try to keep them a bit shorter so I can try to explain and not rush through them. And there will be a second episode coming up shortly. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Okay, I'll see you in part 2.